Welcome to round one on food trials, I guess. Today, I'm going to talk about carrots. I was able to pick up 5 1-pound bags of carrots at a buy 2 get 3 free sale when I refilled water jugs this week. I don't know, sometime in the recent past, I was able to pick up 5 pounds of carrots. And while I don't need 5 pounds of carrots, I wasn't going to buy 2 pounds of carrots for full price and not get the 3 free. Although, so far, I have been unsuccessful at giving any of the rest of them away. A pound was supposed to leave today and it didn't. I'm sure they will go visit friends and remember to take the guinea pig's carrots, but it did not happen today. I've been debating about how to do these food trials, and I have had mixed amounts of help. Sorry. See if we can go this way just a little bit. I've had mixed amounts of success in finding information about how it's generally recommended to do food testing. Some things will say eat a very small portion, like 1 or 2 bites, and then wait 3 days. Some places are eat a full serving 3 times a day for 3 days. So how do I want to go about this? What I have wound up on, at least in this instance, I am doing essentially 3 servings a day for 3 days. But I started at night. So it'll actually span 4 days, and I've already kind of screwed up 1 day. Anywho. So here's what we've done so far. Not yesterday, but the day before yesterday, I had a bout of energy and decided I'm going to clean 1 bag of these carrots, which is 1 pound. And I'm just going to cut them up and stick them in the refrigerator to figure out how I want to eat them tomorrow. I did 4 or 5 little 4-ounce jam jars with carrot sticks, and then I did some that were a little more oddly shaped, let's say, just in medallions or like half medallions. I cut them in half, and I would like to use this a little bit to work on some knife skills and learn how to like do matchstick carrots and julienne carrots and stuff like that. I have not gotten there yet, and quite honestly, since I'm like 2.5 days into this, I'm not sure it'll happen, but it might in the future, because I've had some pleasant surprises so far. Carrots were chosen as my first option in part because they were on sale, and so I got 5 pounds of carrots for $3. But it had been one of those things that was sort of on my radar as a good first possibility anyways, just because they are one of those things. I have been able to eat them some. They're in an Asian veggie mix that I often use for stir fries, or like in teriyaki chicken, we actually toss 3 bags of veggies into like teriyaki chicken. Beef and broccoli, it is normally all broccoli, as it were. But teriyaki chicken, I typically do 2 bags of broccoli and 1 bag of this Asian blend. I don't know. If you have an Aldi's, it's the one with the baby corns and the pea pods, but not the water chestnuts. I want to say that one's called the broccoli stir fry, and it's not the broccoli stir fry, it's the Asian medley. Anywho, it also has carrots in it, but you're talking like little pieces of carrot, and you're not going to be eating large quantities of them, even if you ate the whole bag of vegetables. So I've had some, and I don't react to it in that manner, but then I have had some issues where if I keep like baby carrots in the refrigerator, one of my kids likes to snack on baby carrots at times. Well, at least they did before the whole recall on baby carrots here in the recent past. So I had been keeping baby carrots in the fridge for them, and then I would occasionally snack on them as well. And what I found was when I was snacking on baby carrots out of the fridge, I would have a tendency to start having reactions. Now, I have had issues with vitamin A in the past that stemmed from trying to get my vitamin D over the 2020-2021 time frame when lots of things were in low supply, let's say. In case you're wondering, taking another supplement that you don't need just because it has the thing that you do need in it, probably not a good idea. I wound up eventually, I had taken enough vitamin A supplement. It was a vitamin A / vitamin D supplement. I actually wound up with blisters in my mouth, which is very uncomfortable, in case you were wondering. And ever since then, I have intermittently had problems with vitamin A. And I have reacted to beta carotene on tests for some time even before that point. So I'm not sure. It's one of those things where carrots are sort of like, am I reacting to this or am I reacting to that? Let's get into carrots in terms of what you're looking at for like the classifications and all the various things that we have a tendency to talk about around here. So carrots, they are high in vitamin A, and I found a couple different things. One Opthamalogical Society place said that in 100 grams, there's about 17,000 IU vitamin A in cooked carrots. Another place said it's about 459 micrograms, or somewhere between 51% and 73% of the recommended daily value. So you are definitely getting a lot of vitamin A. For the gardeners out there, it is in the Apiaceae family. Other things that you might recognize from this family: anise, chervil, coriander or cilantro, dill, fennel, parsnips, all in the same family. Parsley and celery are also in this family. Now, in terms of stuff like histamine, lectins, oxalates, and all that, it's actually surprisingly not bad on a lot of these. Seems like pretty much everywhere considers it low histamine, although I did find one reference that if you fry it, can raise the histamine levels as much as 2.5 times. I'm not sure why you would, I mean, I guess if you stir fry carrots, I guess that is a form of frying. And I've seen people make carrot bacon. Not sure I understand that, but just anyway, frying it can raise the histamine levels somehow, and I'm not sure how. And I would question if there's other sauces and ingredients, because soy sauce, definitely going to raise the histamine levels. Remember, I'm going to be talking about these things on their own. Even though I might cook with other ingredients, those are either already tested in terms of how they react with my body. In terms of like talking reactions, we're just talking about the specific food we're talking about, not a sauce or a seasoning that might also be on it. That got me in trouble with cabbage. I thought I reacted to cabbage for years. And it turned out it's just that I always had cabbage either fermented in sauerkraut or in coleslaw with vinegar on it. So you're definitely looking at no sauces or seasonings or anything like that, okay? So in terms of histamine, it's considered low histamine. I will tell you right now, it also stores very well in the refrigerator. You can actually store it at room temperature in damp sand. That's more of a gardening thing, I suppose. But if you're looking for a vegetable that is fairly low in histamine and doesn't build a lot of histamine, carrots are great. Lectins, also low. The number I found, and y'all, I'll try and get some of the sources. I was having trouble loading it, but like just a Google search for lectins in carrots or histamine in carrots. Typically, unfortunately, I'm not a huge fan of AI, but it does bring things up seemingly better than their regular searches do. So anyway, less than 1 milligram per 100 grams. In terms of lectins, so that is low. And then oxalates. This is where we are going to get into, yes, there are some oxalates in carrots. Now, if you are looking at a raw carrot, the numbers I found on that, and I will definitely link, it's actually a PDF file, but like my Firefox was pulling it up just fine without a download. But it's one of the kidney centers that puts this list out, and it actually has oxalates listed in terms of milligrams per however much was tested. And I find those kinds of lists to be much more reliable and accurate than random lists that disagree with each other and don't cite any sources or give it in terms of a number, you know? And everything is always relative. So these numbers compared to like spinach are incredibly low. Oxalates. Half a large raw carrot is about 10 milligrams of oxalate, which is considered high. Half a cup of cooked carrots is considered moderate at 7 milligrams. And then 1 cup of juice is considered very high at 27 milligrams. That's all great. They do not say how it is cooked. In case you're new to the whole oxalate game, there are soluble oxalates, and I don't know if the other one was called insoluble oxalates or not. But anyway, you basically have 2 types of oxalates in different vegetables, okay? The soluble oxalates are soluble in water. So if you cook something in, like you boil it, where it's in contact with the water, some percentage of those oxalates will be removed and go into the cooking water. And then hopefully, if you're having problems with oxalates, you dump said water. Whether you let it cool and water plants with it or what, I don't know or care. But you don't want to drink it. And then steaming, because the water is not directly in contact with the vegetables, it reduces the oxalate content some, but not as much as if it was boiled. Okay. Roasting it, because it causes evaporation of the water in the vegetable, will actually condense the amount of oxalates and make it go up. Pressure cooking, from what I can find, doesn't really do anything, although I will point out, if you are putting carrots in, say, a soup in your pressure cooker, it's going to have the same effect as boiling. The oxalates will move from the carrots into the broth, and then if you eat the soup, you will still get all of those oxalates unless you don't eat the broth. So I'm not saying don't ever use carrots in a soup. I'm just saying be mindful that you're accounting for the fact that you're not actually reducing the oxalate load. You're just transferring it to the broth of the soup instead of the actual carrot part of the soup. It is also low in sals. Carrots are. I thought that was kind of funny because I thought all vegetables had sals. But salicylates. So I'm not sure I understand that because I thought all vegetables had salicylates, but everything I found said it was low in salicylates. So I'm assuming it's sort of like lectins where it's got a little bit, but it's not a lot. I don't know. If you've been around here a while, you know I am not an expert in salicylates at all. I don't know if Low Sal Life is still putting out content or not, but she is the one I used to recommend everybody go see. She has a lot of good information on it. So that brings us down to the last category I've really been watching lately in terms of my charts. I will go ahead and link the food list. Last week I talked about a stoplight list I was working on, and I am still, basically as I do these, I'm going to be trying to fill in information on various vegetables on the list, whether it's anything from what family it's in to what the statistics or whatever are for it. And so the last one that I have on that list so far is the birch pollen cross reactivity thing, if you are allergic to birch pollen. And it is in that group that cross react. So if that is a problem for you, something you might want to think about. I have not tested on that one yet. I have not even called to see if they have that test at any lab test now or in my doctor's office. So anyway, so that is the basics on filling that out with all of your things. So what did I wind up deciding to do in terms of testing? What I'm doing, I'm essentially 3 servings over 3 days. This time it's going to be the equivalent of about 3 servings over 4 days because I started in the evening. So that said, yesterday, am I on day 4? The first day, that's another thing. Finding a definitive amount of stuff in terms of what constitutes a serving was sort of all over the place. So what I wound up doing was basically sticking them on a scale and kind of figuring out about how much was in each thing. They were in sticks. So it's not like I can just say, it was a cup or it was a half a cup, because they wouldn't have fit in either one really. So what I did, first night I did about 50 grams of raw carrots with peanut butter. The next morning I did about 70 grams of carrot sticks with ranch. And then in the afternoon, I had taken the medallions and half medallions, and I tossed them in some cast iron with a little bit of unfermented liquid aminos and some garlic, granulated garlic, liquid aminos, a little bit of water so they could steam, and some onion powder. I did not put ginger in. It was really good. No, it wasn't onion powder. It was black pepper. Because around here, we have really been liking black pepper. I'm pretty sure vanadium is high in black pepper. And I at least am low on vanadium. So that is probably why I've been craving black pepper. So then I cooked the medallions and half medallions. And the flavor on that was really good. I had forgotten about the whole frying thing. But that was, I don't know, I didn't have any histamine reactions from that, so I don't know how much it really upped it. So, okay, and then so I had that for the afternoon and the second half of that for sort of an evening dose. And then I might be on my last day. So then yesterday I did another thing of carrot sticks in the morning, and I had weighed all of these out. So like after that first one where it was about 50, the rest of them were about 70. So they were about 70-ish grams of carrots. And so yesterday morning I had carrots with ranch, and then I did not actually the second bag of carrots peeled and cut up until evening. So I ate some more raw ones with ranch then, and then only got 2 servings in that day. And then this morning for breakfast, I had carrots with ranch again. Noticing a trend here, I like carrots with ranch, like broccoli with ranch too. I did have a small amount of bloating and gas not the first night, but like the second day of this. Do I know for sure that was necessarily the carrots? Probably not. Like, I can't say for sure one way or the other. It was not enough for me to think I shouldn't be eating carrots at all. It's so hard to say on these kinds of things. Surprisingly, I figured by day 2 I would be having mouth issues. So far, I have had no tingling or numbness of my tongue, which is like, I know I have that with like peaches, which was what originally like caught my attention on the birch thing. Then like in terms of my mouth, otherwise, I don't have any blisters or I don't know what you call them, like sores inside your mouth. They're very painful when they happen, and I haven't had them. There's been a couple times that I've been like, my mouth might be getting tender, and then it just goes away. Like, by the time I eat more carrots, I'm not feeling it at all. Obviously, I've been eating more raw carrots, so that would actually be higher in the oxalate range than otherwise. I don't have a juicer, and I'm not really a fan of juicing things anyway. It seems like you get rid of some of the good parts of it by doing the juicing. I haven't really looked into juicing because it's a really large piece of equipment that I really don't want to clean. So, based on all of this, and I will pop a clip in here if I finish. I'm going to sit down and write out, but I'm pretty sure this is day 3. So to do the 3 days of servings with no reactions, I think carrots are actually officially moving at least to my yellow tested but eat in moderation column, just because of the previous vitamin A issues. I just counted it up. I've had 7 out of the 9 servings of carrots that I would have for a 3-day block. So I still need to have my afternoon dose today, and I'll have my evening dose today, and then I'll call it good. So if I don't start having problems later this evening, number 1, I'll let you know if I do. But I think I've effectively proven that eating them in food, eating them on things, like normally I've been eating them in very small quantities and trying not to eat them in terms of just like carrot sticks or a nice low-calorie snack. And I think I can officially say that the vitamin A issues seem to have been fixed, which the last time I got micronutrient testing, they were running mid-range. So I don't know if the boron changes have affected that at all, or if I know that they at least used to add vitamin A to the milk we got. So maybe it's less of an issue because I'm not drinking as much milk. I'm not sure. So I'm still probably going to be a little cautious and use moderation. But I think I can effectively say that carrots are back on the menu. I will probably be working them in to add a little bit more variety to dishes as I start working on recipes and things. And I think with that, I will see you guys next week.